Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in, Winning Cures Everything. It is Wednesday, March 17th, the day before the First Four. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And, man, it is get paid week in the NFL this week. Like
a little bit now.
Everybody backing up the Brinks trucks, knocking this stuff out. I'm watching something on CBS about Trent Williams re-signing with the 49ers.
That man got paid. The rest of these guys, we'll get to it.
Oh, yeah, we will certainly get to it. We got Deshaun Watson stuff to talk about. We got the First Four coming up in the NCAA tournament. We will be releasing a podcast on Friday morning. We're not going to do a Friday show. Chris and I are going to do a show on Thursday night. And isn't that right? Didn't we talk about that?
Sure.
Okay. Because there's going to be NCAA tournament games going on Friday. So, rather than doing a show in the middle of the day, we're going to release a show on YouTube and on the podcast. So make sure that you are subscribed to those two spots, the YouTube and the podcast, anywhere you need to be subscribed. But we'll give out some picks on the NCAA tournament. We'll talk about the first round matchups, all that good stuff. So go ahead and dive into that. Happy Hump Day, fellas, from McKinnon on Facebook. He said, stay safe out there. Brown Yeti said, what's up, fellas? And Birdie on Periscope said, good day, men. Unfortunately, your bracket competition is racist against Canadians. So here's the thing.
Is it?
It's not racist, for one. But the
Canadians, listen.
Well, no, anybody that's outside the United States cannot get into the ESPN bracket or the NCAA.com brackets. They can't get into the competitions. I don't know why. It makes no sense to me.
So are we afraid like the servers are going to get COVID?
I have no idea.
I mean, we shut down the borders. We shut down the damn borders, didn't we?
It doesn't make any sense.
You can't even interact with other folks.
Yeah, you got me.
The whole purpose of the internet is to where you can interact with people without having to be next to people. So
here's one part of it. Like, I understand with the gambling as far as state lines and stuff like that, but that's just states. That's not.
This is an ESPN bracket.
Yeah, it's not.
So I wonder. Hang on. Let me ask you this: Do you think it's all? So you said it's NCAAs and ESPNs. Do you know if Yahoo's is doing it? Because we're not married to any of these people. I mean, we've already set the damn thing up through ESPN. Yeah. We're not doing another one.
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
You're losing out on our laziness. I'm just curious, is Yahoo's, because if that's the case, this seems like that might be an NCAA thing, not a weird server thing. Somebody said use a VPN. Yeah, that would be a solution for it.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have to have a weird ass go around to do some cheap, free bullshit.
Just to get into a contest. Pool. Yeah. It doesn't make,
man.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. But either way. Brown Yeti jumps in. Terry jumps in. Taylor jumps in. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. Chris, of course, wearing his green.
That's right.
I've got green boxers on.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Underpants don't count. If we can't see it, getting your ass pinched, grabbing a nipple.
But that's all I got right now. That's all I got. Terry said, who wants those crazy Canucks messing up our Coke machine with their crazy Monopoly money and weird quarters? Yeah, I can see that. And so I remember at an old business.
Monopoly money is worth more than ours, though, right?
Probably so right now. I don't know off the top of my head. Ben said the Bears signed a leprechaun. We're going to talk about the free agency. Don't worry. McKinnon said, man, I don't know if the NCAA has that much reach, but they are friggin' insane about controlling who can and cannot make brackets for the tournament. I know all of these different websites and whatnot have prizes that they are giving away with their brackets.
But ESPN doesn't.
ESPN does. So when
you have to fill out a specific thing for that sweepstakes.
Right.
That's its own separate thing. You have to give them extra information. I filled our brackets out, and I did not fill out the crap for the sweepstakes because I don't want to get spammed on a bunch of bullshit emails.
Agreed.
So you have to do that. So all you have to do is say, we'll let the foreigners, we'll let the Canadians in, but they can't fill out the sweepstakes thing. That can't be that hard, right?
I would.
I don't know how to make a website. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But it doesn't seem like if people have the skill to make this thing, they can block off the sweepstakes if that's what you want to do.
I agree with you. I agree. Matt Miller said, how do I enter this so-called bracket? The WCE bracket challenge We've got a link in the description on YouTube, and Matt Miller is on YouTube. So just go down in the description.
You just go to the ESPN Bracket Challenge thing, type in Winning Cures Everything in the search bar and join.
There you go.
And you literally just click join, and your bracket automatically gets entered into it.
Michael Fritz said, "What's up, fellas?" Justin Miller said, "Drop all topics. Let's talk about how great the Pats are going to be." Hey, get out of my face. Come on, man. I know Chris would do it. But Taylor said he went to work decked out in his Celtics gear. That is one way to wear green for the day.
Yes, sir.
And Birdie corrected us. If he won $1,000 American, it would be like $100,000 there. So that's
the Canadian dollar's worse than ours?
I guess.
I mean, it wasn't too long ago where it was a lot better than ours. How can economies like swing that far?
I don't think it'd be that much, obviously, but
that seems strange.
I'm with you. Ben said, "Is it free?" Matt Miller said he can't wait to beat us. And then Michael Fritz said, "Winner of the bracket gets some WCE swag." Michael, I actually owe you WCE swag anyway, but yes, winner of this thing is going to get some WCE swag, stickers, because I've actually got a set of those coming on the way. I spent a little bit of personal money and got us some WCE stickers. Chris don't even know about this.
I didn't know about that.
But we have stickers coming. We've still got some shirts to give out, all that kind of stuff. So yes, 100% free. Enter that bad boy, and you will get some stuff. The website is winningcureseverything.com. All of our shows and whatnot are posted up over there, and everywhere that you need to be subscribed. We are live on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, and YouTube. And I see everybody from all those different platforms has already jumped in. So if you would like to be a part of the conversation, bottom left-hand corner of your screen is where it will populate from all of those different platforms. You can be a part of the show. Birdie said, "No, it's like $1.40 plus per dollar." Just a Canadian joke that we make out like bandits on conversion. There you go. Okay, so he corrected it. SBRpicks.com/NCAAF is our college football gambling content, and we do a college football show over there every single week. We have one that will be up this afternoon. You can go find it on YouTube, search out SBR Picks. And there was a lot to talk about in college football this past week. We talked about the Nebraska-Oklahoma mess. We talked about all kinds of stuff. So make sure that you go subscribe to SBR Picks on YouTube. Very easy to do. Now, let's dive into the first topic of the day, and it is not a pleasant one, but it is definitely worth talking about, and that would be one Deshaun Watson, who wants out of Houston for a multitude of reasons. He and the owner of the Texans do not get along. Other than that, it's not like he has a problem with his coaches because his coaches are gone. It's not like he has a problem with the players because, apparently he and his teammates got along just fine. It's just an ownership thing, unless maybe this had something to do with it. There are allegations from a masseuse in Houston, and she has filed a civil lawsuit against him, and she is stating that he, I guess she's alleging inappropriate conduct in her home in March of 2020. Now, this was right before the pandemic hit, all that good stuff. This is what the article says. The lawsuit, which was filed Tuesday night by Houston lawyer Tony Busby and appeared in the Harris County District Clerk's website on Wednesday morning, alleges that Watson, quote, committed civil assault when touching the massage therapist with his penis, and that he intentionally or knowingly caused physical contact with the plaintiff when Watson knew or should have reasonably known that the plaintiff would regard such contact as offensive. Now, Watson responded on Tuesday, said he rejected a baseless six-figure settlement demand, and that this is about clearing my name, and I look forward to doing that. He said, "I've never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect." I don't know how you prove anything on this. Like, unless you have unless there's video.
Well, so there's a world in which if this woman can, like, in detail describe his penis and that's accurate, then it makes her more believable, because then it changes from I did not do this and it didn't happen to, well, something happened, but it was consensual. Now you've changed your story if she's able to do that. Therein lies the only damning evidence. If she's not able to do that, then this is very much a he said, she said thing. And In a civil court, remember, you don't have to win unanimously. This is not a jury of 12 people and all, 11 of them have to all agree. This is a 49.1% chance believe this did happen.
Well, it'd be 50.1, right?
50.1.
Yeah,
That's
50.
it. That's it. 50.1. So there's a 49.9 chance that it didn't happen, and millions of dollars can swing on that 1/10 of a point of it happening or not happening.
So here's what the lawsuit alleges. It says that Watson booked a massage on March 30th, 2020, with a massage therapist who regularly works in her home. After leaving the room, the massage therapist alleges she returned to find Watson lying on the massage table with just a small towel covering his groin area. Now, if you haven't been to a massage parlor, that seems totally out of the ordinary, but there are some places, some guys that need like the whole, every muscle done, all that kind of mess.
Yeah.
But only covering that area is that's a little out of the ordinary. I'll say that. The lawsuit says the plaintiff began to feel extremely uncomfortable, and it became apparent that Watson wanted a massage for only one reason, and that would be sex. It accuses Watson of exposing himself and subsequently touching the woman. The therapist alleges that after she asked Watson to leave, the quarterback made a statement that she considered to be a threat. The lawsuit also says Watson later texted her to apologize. Now, that's a big deal.
If she's got that text, it's over. It's over, and he should have paid the 100 whatever 6-figure salary to settle out. If she has that text message, ball game.
Yeah.
Because if you say this is just like getting out of a car accident. You walk up and say, "I'm sorry." That means you're apologizing because you did something.
Yeah.
That's an admission of guilt in the court of law.
Now, so Taylor said this is why he's trying to get out of Houston. Now, I don't know that. Like, I seriously doubt it because he didn't sign his contract until after that. Yeah. But, you never know with these things. Like, there's more to him wanting out of Houston than just that. But, you start having legal issues pop up, and you don't like the owner of the team, and you've got a brand new head coach and all that. Like, there's all kind of stuff.
I wonder what kind of counsel he's got if she's saying that she has a text message of him apologizing for his actions. What legal counsel on earth told him we can fight this and we can win?
You got me. I have no idea. If she has the text message,
because that's
from
literally
his number.
That's seriously all she needs is the text message of him apologizing. And then to get on the stand and say, what'd you apologize for?
Yeah. And now
seriously,
they can come up with a ton of different.
That's fine. Remember, all those people sitting in that booth have to believe your story over hers.
Yeah, yeah, and I doubt that.
Like I said, if she can describe his penis, that's going to be damning enough. I believe. I do believe that, because then it goes from, all right, she saw his penis enough to know what it looks like. Therefore, something did happen, which means he's now got to change his story to, well, something happened, but it was consensual. And then he's the one changing the story, and she gets to stick to her story. That's the problem that people get when they get into these situations, is they don't think about how this is going to play out.
Michael Fritch, at first he was laughing at Watson's junk in a 6-pack lineup. So he said it feels like a money grab. Why would she wait so long to come out? Now, what did you major in college again?
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice. All right. So in a situation like this, I'm sure that you've seen instances along these lines before.
No, investigations take forever. And court filings and proceedings take forever, by the way.
I'm sure it probably took her a while to decide to go forward with it.
I'm sure there was a negotiation back and forth between her attorneys and Watson's attorneys that kept everything as quiet as a mouse until Watson made the decision to say not to just say, all right, we're just going to deny and fight. And then it becomes public, because if you're negotiating to do this without getting the attorneys or without going to court,
without anything being public,
you're doing it for Watson's benefit. You're doing it for his benefit. So, he might pay you to keep this out of the media. All right. And the only people that know is you, your attorney, his attorney, and him. And that's it. And so that's why it's just coming to light. We don't know how long that negotiation has been going on, and those things take a while. None of this stuff happens quickly at all, unless the person who did wrong wants it to happen quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're right. These comments today are something crazy. Ben said Chris should be a lawyer.
I would be a good lawyer. I can't do the reading to get through law school. I wouldn't be able to handle the paperwork part of it, but I do think that I would enjoy making arguments in court. The problem is it would just take me too long to get all the information that I thought about going to law school. I just can't. I couldn't keep up with the reading.
McKinnon with a long comment here.
Ooh,
he said,
I just took up my whole screen.
Yep. He said, yeah, I'm calling shenanigans on this Watson stuff. Sounds eerily like some Texans fans or staff trying to keep him in Houston because no one would risk taking him on this case going forward. That said, he could have very well done it, but when you offer to settle out of court on this stuff, it's typically a bunch of bluffs that you're trying to see if they call you on. Not to mention sexual harassment cases are typically are rarely civil cases and typically criminal cases if it's genuinely sexual harassment or assault.
That's not true at all.
No, that's not. That's
simply not true. If it was a criminal case, she would almost 100% lose, even with a text message and being able to describe his penis, because that has to 100% prove he did it. Okay, we would let 100 guilty men go free before we put one innocent man in jail. But civilly, it's not that hard to get a win. So that's just not true. If you take him to criminal court, there's a 99% chance she loses that, and she gets nothing out of it. And Watson pays no price. Then if she tries to sue after that, it just looks like sour grapes because you've lost the court of public opinion.
Yep. So a lot of times, this would be the way to go as opposed to trying to take it through criminal.
Yep.
So
it just depends on, can you win the case or not criminally? Would people like to see him, really punished if he really sexually assaulted someone? Absolutely. But once again, that's really hard to win. And if you get an L in court, it makes getting the civil suit to where the guy is punished in some way that much more difficult.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right.
I don't understand how Texan fans would drum this up either. If you want the guy to stay in town, let's falsely accuse him of something.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I can't do that mental gymnastics.
Well, and on the other side of this, if you're telling me that there's an NFL team that would not take him with this court case going on, I mean, it's a civil suit. It's not a criminal case. It's like,
oh no, they would do it. The one thing this hurts or this helps is this might make him more like, right now, the two teams that he's been like saying he wants to go to are
Miami.
No, it's not Miami. And it's not the New York, the Jets, which is because they have the most to offer.
Who was it?
It was
Denver?
Denver and one other team. I don't remember. Shit. Anyway,
it wasn't Chicago, right?
It might be Chicago, but there's two teams that he said he would go to basically right now that like are his list, and he does have the no trade clause. If he, if he wanted to, he might have to open up that window, to get some of his price might be going down with this coming in.
That's entirely possible.
Denver and the 49ers. I think that's the two teams. That makes more sense than the Bears. He wants to play for an offensive coach, but I don't think he wants to be Matt Nagy. Andrew
Shirey said, a teammate of Watson said it would be the most unexpected thing ever if true. I don't believe it. No way, no how. And then Birdie jumped in.
Yeah, but that's what teammates are supposed to say.
Well, of course. Birdie said,
I would openly say that about 90% of my friends. It doesn't mean they're not capable of it. I just would never see it happening.
Yeah. Agreed. Birdie jumped in and basically confirmed what you were saying. The burden of proof is so drastically different from criminal and civil. And it's what you just explained. It's the difference between a little more than 50% and,
100% positive for criminal. It is really, really hard to get a conviction.
Yep.
Real hard.
He said OJ is a good example. So, absolutely. Because, he lost the civil case, but he won the criminal case.
Yeah. Well, he lost the civil case because the evidence was just so damning. Like, I mean, we all universally know he won, but But why he lost a criminal case when the evidence was so bad is the DA, when they had him put on that damn glove, instead of getting the same gloves in the exact same size and have him put brand new gloves on, they took old gloves that were once covered in blood, dried, which they shrink. Because they're in blood, they have him put a rubber glove on top of it. Now he can't get it on. Also, he's nervous, and anybody who's ever proposed to anybody before, or when you get married, knows your wedding ring's not going on because your hand swells. No. This situation where all the DA had to do, they were trying to play theatrics. All the DA had to do was buy identical gloves, identical size, identical make, identical everything, brand new, and hand them to him, let him slip them on his hands. Bing, bang, boom, that gavel goes down, and he's life in prison.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, Ben jumped in with Denver and San Francisco. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Let's see. Bucks took Brown. WFT is so interesting. Yeah, that's totally the same thing. There. Yeah. What he's talking about is that they brought in Antonio Brown even with all that stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so same thing with Deshaun. Let's see. Man, lots of comments. McKinnon is telling us that's not true, my friend, especially in today's era of man-hating men being the evil of the world, and unfortunately happens more often than not. No, here's the thing.
You're talent, in the Twitter world, man.
Talent outweighs problems. If it outweighs the problems, then they will take you 100 times over. If it doesn't, then they won't. That's all it is. So, moving on from there, let's dive into. We got some basketball picks today, and it's for the games tomorrow. But I decided I am going to actually pick every First Four game. Now, I went back and did some research, okay? The First Four, the last 3 NCAA tournaments that we have had, there was a drastic difference in all 3 seasons.
Okay.
2017, the Dogs went 3-1 against the spread, 3 outright winners. 2018, 2-2 with 2 outright winners. In the 2019 tournament, the underdogs went 1-3 against the spread and had 0 outright wins. Now, this all seems like it is trending to where the favorites are going to be, the more
I would
the more
want to know
common
what
side.
the point spreads were in all those games.
All of them were within 6 points.
But 6 points is over double the biggest point spread of this game.
Agreed.
So there's a huge difference between winning and covering a 1 point line, or Vegas thinking these teams are a 1 point game or a pick'em game, over one team is 6 points better.
Agreed.
A 6 point better team is usually substantially better.
Now, I am not going to go with any of the trends here. I just found it very interesting that we went from Dogs being 3-1 with 3 outright wins all the way to Dogs being 1-3 last go round with 0 wins. That seems kind of drastic. Ben said Mount St. Mary's over Michigan is the 16-1 pick if you're going to pick one. Unless you're not going to have Mount St. Mary's there at all, which I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I got here.
Give me what you got. I got to give you what I got.
The first game, 5:10 p.m. Eastern time on True TV, Texas Southern Pick'em against Mount St. Mary's. I'm taking Texas Southern. I'm taking Johnny Jones, former LSU head coach. They are on a roll of all rolls. And if you go and just look at the stats and whatnot, it bears out in my favor, and the talent bears out. They've got a bunch of transfers that came in from bigger programs and whatnot. They have got a ton more talent. They're on a 9-game winning streak. Norfolk State, Mount St. Mary's. I'm thinking about a different game. Mount St. Mary's, before getting into their conference tournament, had lost 3 straight games, and then they won several to be able to get to this point. So while they could still be hot, I'm going to go with what I'm thinking here, and that is that Johnny Jones and those transfers and whatnot for Texas Southern, they are playing lights out. I'm going to take Texas Southern as a pick 'em here. How you feeling?
Yeah, I probably would take Texas Southern. This is the one I feel the least confident about, but I really do think this is a coin flip game.
Well, yeah, it's a pick 'em game. Yep. That's the way these things go. Really, all of them are basically a pick 'em when you get down to it. Let's move on to the next one, and that would be, that would be Drake -1.5. against Wichita State at 6:27 p.m. Eastern Time on TBS. Two teams that everybody kind of thought would not be in the field at all. And Wichita State actually opened up as a 2-point favorite here, and it has switched all the way back over to Drake minus 1.5. And, they're talking about Drake getting one of their more talented players back in this game. He's been injured for 9 straight games, whatever. Ben jumps in already, said Drake sucks. I'm going against you again, brother. I'm taking Drake minus 1.5. Wichita State, they've played like 6 total games since the end of January. They continued to have COVID pauses, this and that. The only top 100 KenPom win that they had was the win at home over Houston, and that just felt more like an outlier game for Houston than anything else. I've seen Wichita State get their brains beat in by Memphis, all that. The other games that they played against the AAC, all of them were against teams at KenPom rated like 130 or lower. I think that Drake is actually a pretty decent team. I think they'll be able to win this ball game. If I'm only having to give up 1.5, that feels good to me. So
I like Wichita State in this game. I think they've played tougher competition throughout the season, and I just trust this team.
That makes sense. I mean, I can understand all these. Again, they're all kind of coin flip games. So when I kept looking at it, I felt like more people publicly, like in the media and whatnot, were on Wichita State, and it's just it felt so easy to just take Wichita State. We know them better. They've played better competition, all that kind of stuff. But when I went back and really looked at it, like I felt pretty good about Drake. Moving on in this one, we are going to jump into with Norfolk State and App State. This one's 8:40 p.m. Eastern Time on True TV. Norfolk State is a 3-point underdog, and I think that's just absolutely wrong. Like I am so out on that. I think that Norfolk State should actually be favored in this game.
I'm with you there. I don't know if they should be favored, but I'll damn sure take the 3-point head start.
I know, like KenPom.
I think this is going to be a close game, and I think Norfolk can win this game. Absolutely, I'll definitely take the 3-point head start.
That's the thing, right?
I think is going to win the game.
Head start, taking a head start, get your 3 points.
This is the biggest spread out of all of them at 3, and I think the wrong team's favored. I'm with you.
I think so as well. Norfolk State, a couple of years ago, like the last tournament that they actually had, Norfolk State was an 8 seed in the NIT and actually beat Alabama that year. So I knew a little bit about this team anyway. They've still got a bunch of the same guys from that team. They are experienced, man. Like that's a big part of this. App State obviously played well, won the Sun Belt, all that. It's been a long time since they've been in the tournament. But I think Norfolk State is the better basketball team. I will definitely take the +3 there. And finally, we will close out with this one. UCLA. Well, you talk about some big names. +2.5 against Michigan State. This is 9:57 p.m. Eastern Time on TBS. It's very easy for me to look at this and say, you know what, UCLA has lost 4 straight. They lost their best player to a torn ACL, Chris Hill, back in January, whenever it was. It didn't look great anytime after that, whatever. But I look at it, and all of the numbers tend to lean UCLA here. All of the analytical numbers, all that kind of mess. If it's so easy to just look at Michigan State and say, man, they beat Michigan and they beat Illinois, they beat Ohio State. Like they did all this stuff to get to this point. But then you go back and watch some of those games where they just put up clunkers. I don't know what to make of this team. I know Rocket Watts is the key for Michigan State. If he scores in double figures, they are probably going to win this game. They're probably going to cover pretty easily. Tom Izzo, obviously everybody knows him as Mr. March, all that good stuff. But, man, I just think it's too easy to take Izzo here. I'm going to roll with Mick Cronin. Like, I think UCLA can hang in this game. I think this could be a buzzer-beater kind of game. All those 4 games that they lost, by the way, at the end of the season, the 4 straight for UCLA, all of them were within like 4 or 5 points. Like they lost on a buzzer beater to USC at last game of the regular season. They lost to Oregon State, who ended up winning the Pac-12 title. And they lost to Colorado and Oregon. These are all really good teams, and they were right there at the very end of the ball game. give me the head start here. I'll take UCLA plus 2.5.
Let me tell you why Izzo's going to win this game.
Okay.
If Michigan State played in the Pac-12, they would be a 5 or a 6 seed in this tournament.
Do we know that?
Yeah, we do. We do. They struggled, but still competed like crazy in the best conference in all of basketball. Okay, that's 100% true. It's just like Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 500 football team in the SEC. Drop them in the Pac-12, they win the damn thing. Or they're in the Pac-12 title game almost every other year.
That just feels so easy. Like it
okay, that's fine. Obviously, they've gotten you to overthink it. Also, there's a huge fan base out there that saw that UCLA has. Okay. The other side of it is there's a lot of people that are Big Ten fans that saw Michigan State have those clunkers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet the betting average on this is gonna be close to 50-50. All right. I'm gonna bet it's gonna be a mildly decent close game, but I still think Michigan State's gonna win. I still think they're gonna cover.
Yeah, okay. Ben said
I think the Pac-12 is like the 7th best conference in basketball this year. Okay.
You might be right. You might be right.
So give me the 6th or 7th best team out of the best conference over the 5th best team out of the 7th best conference. Right? Give me that.
I can understand it.
That's the math that I'm doing. Now, also, I knew the answer to this before I did any digging or looking at all. You just don't bet against Tom and March. I just don't do it. I have certain things that I live by, okay? There's a McDonald's and there's a Burger King next to one another. I never go in the Burger King. I'm never going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm never going to bet against Tom Izzo in the tournament. I'm just not going to do it.
I love it. Ben said Gary's trying to go 0 for 4 tomorrow. Shake my head. And he said, it is that easy. And then Casey jumps in.
It is that easy.
Casey said, UCLA has dropped their last 3 games on purpose. They're going to win this one.
God.
I don't know if I like being on the same side as Casey. But
but
I've already made my bet. I'm already in on it. I'm rolling with Mick Cronin. So it is what it is. Let's talk about some NFL free agency to close out today's show. That sound all right with you?
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing we will discuss is the top 10 guys that are left on the board. CBS has a good article up about it, and we will just read from their list. I tend to agree with a bunch of the stuff that they've got. So number 1, they have Kenny Golladay. If you look at his numbers compared to Megatron over their first 47 games in Detroit, now granted, Detroit was not as good with Megatron back in the day as they were set up when Kenny Golladay got there, but I think they are as bad now as they were at certain points with Megatron, right? So I think it was fairly equal, and I mean, they're 1 touchdown apart. They're like 100 yards receiving apart in their first 47 games. It's pretty insane.
The separation of them is Megatron never got hurt ever, and Kenny Golladay has had a hard time staying on the field.
You are correct.
That's the only thing that's keeping Kenny from getting stupid money. All right, is what's his availability? What's his health look like?
Yeah, okay. Especially right now in a weird
I'm
pandemic
very anxious to see where he lands.
Yeah, same here. Number 2, they've got Curtis Samuel, wide receiver.
There's the 2 receivers are the 2 best guys left, and they were 2 of the top 5 in this whole free agency year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anthony Harris, Minnesota free safety. That's number 3. I can understand that. It looks like the Browns are a front runner for that one, but
no, they're not. They just signed Josh Jackson.
They can't sign 2 of them.
John Jackson. No, they're not going to sign 2 safeties. They spent a first-round draft pick 2 years ago on a safety that's coming off of an injury. It's supposed to be healthy this year. They would literally be 2 deep already in safety at really talented guys. Why spend money on a 3rd guy on safety? No, okay. Go get another cornerback. Go get another pass rusher. Go get another offensive lineman or something like that.
You bring up pass rusher number 4, Melvin Ingram.
Yep.
Any thoughts on that one?
I love Melvin Ingram. I think he's a monster. I think he's a stud. I'm very curious to see where he goes.
Jason Lockenfora said the Ravens are keeping tabs on.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I wish the Browns would have gone harder after him. They were in negotiations before they signed McKinley. I would much rather have Melvin Ingram over McKinley, but.
Number 5 is Juju Smith-Schuster. Interesting stat that I saw today. Did not realize this. in games where he played with Antonio Brown, he had 10 100-yard receiving games. Without Antonio Brown, he's only had 2.
Yeah. Juju's stock has fallen a lot. I kind of thought he was going to be the biggest ticket receiver in this class. And I was very shocked to see Curtis Samuel and Kenny Golladay seem to be head and shoulders better than him, quote unquote, in the free agency market.
Now, that's, again, stats lie. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
All last season, or not this past season, but the one before, it was Mason Rudolph and Duck that were throwing to him. It's kind of hard to get 100-yard receiving games when you are the main guy.
But he did have Ben all this past season.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he didn't do it a lot. So
no, he kind of got taken over by a couple of guys. So
yeah,
Deontay Johnson.
Therein lies the question of what is his skill set really?
Yep. Alejandro Villanueva, another Steeler, offensive tackle,
big offensive lineman. Yeah,
that's a big one. His 90-game regular season starting streak is the longest of any Pittsburgh player. I would imagine that the Steelers are probably going to bring him back, but we haven't heard reports yet, so who knows?
Yeah.
Hassan Reddick, Arizona outside linebacker. He is number 7. Again, Ravens apparently have interest here. I think they are, the Ravens always do this, right? Like they sneak up and they grab.
They load up on defensive players and they run the offense that they run.
Dudes.
Yeah.
Absolute dudes. So, Patrick Peterson, Arizona Cardinals cornerback. He's number 8. That makes it. I feel like he could have been maybe higher on this list.
No, but not now. He's at the end of his career. He's played for a long, long time. He's going to be a guy that's going to go for very short money, very short years. And he's a guy you want in your locker room and you want in your backfield, group of guys helping lead. But he's not going to lock anybody down the way he used to.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was the best cover corner in football for, 8 years. And now, he's good, but he's not great.
Number 9. Oh, by the way, OG Wam jumps in. What's up, fellas? So good to see him in. Taylor, Dalton or Trubisky, half dozen, blah, 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 blah. Juju had double coverages until Claypool became consistent. I don't think that's necessarily true.
No. And what happened after Claypool became consistent? He still only had 200-yard gains. Yeah. Like, all right, well, Claypool got just as much coverage in way more than 2 games.
And Deontay Johnson ended up taking over. So that's the way it goes. Number 9 was Will Fuller. His issue is staying on the field. I mean, the Texans were nearly.
Well, he's already going to start the season off with 4 games left on his suspension.
Think so.
I don't remember. I know the suspension is going to carry over to this year. I think it's 4. I might be wrong on that number. But then, yeah, he's just not healthy enough.
If he can stay healthy,
plays, he's electric.
His catch rate. We talk about catch radius with Stephon Diggs. It's kind of the same thing with Will Fuller. Like, he is unbelievable. The 2 teams that are linked as possible teams for him, the Dolphins and the Bengals, and that's 2 young quarterbacks that need a guy that can go and get the football. So that would make sense to me. And if the Dolphins are trying to find a way to get Deshaun Watson, which I don't know that he would go there, even if he did, even if all that other stuff, Fuller and Deshaun Watson like each other. So that could definitely work. And then number 10, they've got Jadeveon Clowney listed here. And I don't know that Clowney is the same dude anymore. I don't know that he's a top 10 free agent left. Like, do you agree with this? I mean, he wasn't able to cause much of a ruckus in the backfield last year at all.
That's not what he does.
No, I know, but he wasn't able to get pressure. Like, he wasn't able to.
That's not what he does. He's the best run-stopping defensive player in the game that plays on the edge.
And they couldn't stop the run either.
No, they didn't run at him. That's the difference. Jadeveon Clowney is still a very good player. He's not the guy that we thought he was, but Jadeveon Clowney has always been a run-stopping edge guy. Okay? That's a big part of the game still.
Yeah,
right?
No, it is.
Now, it's tough when he's an edge guy that's a run stuffer because it's easy just to run the ball to the other side. All right? You can take him out of a play. But that means you can call different run stunts when you know they're in run packages. Okay? So the defensive coach has an advantage when you can kind of hold down a side. All right? He's never been a huge sack guy. It's just not what he does.
Yeah, last
not
year.
What he's ever done, by the way.
He failed to record a sack for the first time since his rookie season last season, but a lot of that probably because he only got to play 8 games last year due to a knee injury.
Yeah.
So, I
still think he's good. Now he's not great, but that just tells you that most of the big ticket guys have been taken
and
in this draft. So yeah, he probably is still a top 10 guy left.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'd give you that. I'd give him that.
Let's you talk about the guys that have been taken. I got you to take the lead on this. What do we need to know that's happened?
Run through them.
Yeah,
I'm going to go through them, and we're just going to go through some broad strokes, big name guys, people that I think actually matter or help the offenses. We'll kind of go through conference by conference. Some teams I won't even hit at all because it just won't matter. Buffalo Bills, Manuel Sanders helping that offense. I think that's help. I think that's, Stephon Diggs was unbelievable last year. What could they be if they just get any kind of real production from a professional wide receiver? And I think Emmanuel's going to do that. I think Emmanuel has a chance to have one of his best seasons in that offense, being the second guy with Diggs drawing so much attention.
Yeah,
I think that's going to help a lot.
He's taking over for John Brown, who they lost,
yes.
right?
That's right. Yep. He'll be that second tier guy. And he's a totally different receiver than John Brown. John Brown was a speedster, and Emmanuel Sanders is just a precise route runner. The Dolphins, this is an interesting signing that I thought was weird to me, but it just goes to show you Flores still has relationships with guys from when he was in New England they trust. We all believe that Tua's the guy, okay? But there's question marks about how great Tua's really going to be. So they go out and they sign Jacoby Brissett. And I thought, okay, this tells me that Flores says Jacoby has a floor to him, all right? And if for some reason Tua's not the guy, I can hand the keys to this car and know it's in good hands. We're probably not going to win Super Bowls, and we're probably not going to be the best team in football, and we're going to go into the game with the worst quarterback of the two in most matchups. But
we can be competitive.
I trust him with the offense. Yes, we're not going to go into the cellar if something happens to our starter. And I thought, okay, that makes me think Flores has seen big picture. He really thinks this team is coming to its own, and he doesn't want them to be a quarterback away from stifling completely. So I thought that was interesting. I'm going to run through the Patriots guys real quick. So this is what's interesting. You talked about how people with the brakes trucks and people made fun of Bill Belichick, and I liked every meme there was with him handing out cash. Okay.
Right.
Cam Newton, 1 year, $5 million deal. Nelson Aguilar, you're talking 2 years, $11 million a year. Okay. $22 million. Just nothing. Kendrick Bourne's 3 years, $22.5 million. Just nothing. Hunter Henry's the big paid guy. It's at a 3-year, $25 million deal. Not a lot. Jonnu Smith, 4 years, $31 million is guaranteed. This is not a lot of money. And they have protected themselves to where they're out of every one of these deals if they want to be out of them in 2 years. Every one of these deals,
pretty smart.
If it doesn't work in 2 years, or if the cap goes up a ton in 5 years, 2 years from now, they're not locked into anything to where they can't reconfigure everything. People laughed at Bill, and I want to stay on this for a minute because I know this man. I know everything about him, okay? I don't cover him very well. Gary, you and I have known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking as soon as you tell me the topics we're going to talk about. You know what I'm thinking when you're putting together topics already because we've been together for so long. We've been friends for so long. Bill doesn't know this because this relationship only goes one way, but it's amazing to me that people cover him for decades, have been on beats, and they write the shit that they write as if they don't know the person they're covering. I watch him and I read the shit they cover that they write, and I know him better than they do. Okay. I told you on this show the other day, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, 1 and 2, targets that I want in this free agency if I'm Bill Belichick. He wants to run the offense. The happiest he ever was with the offense was when he had a Gronk and a Hernandez, two elite tight ends to do something that nobody's done in football history, okay? It makes, when you get into the red zone, it makes it virtually impossible to guard. And what happened, lo and behold, abracadabra, he gets both of those guys, all right? That makes sense to me because I know this man and I know what he's thinking, okay? But yet he also is a math genius. He understands the cap better than every team in the league. Now, I've listened to so many Twitter hater folks out there crap on Bill because, all this years, what made him smart and what made him great was he gets those mid-level guys for not a lot of money. And he always zigs when everybody else zags. And now he's just overpaying everybody. Is he really overpaying?
I don't think so.
Or did he find a situation where, let me tell you how I'm zigging while everybody's zagging. Everybody in the league but like 3 or 4 teams are flat ass broke this year because of the cap. We are not. So I'm going to go spend a bunch of money, quote unquote, spread out across a ton of guys. He didn't go out and get the biggest star in the game. Okay. And I'm going to totally revamp my team.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people see this as a negative or a bad thing. And
I don't think it's a negative at all. Now, the only negative
they're
is
equating it to the years where like Washington went out and gave Albert Hainsworth $100 million, first pick $100 million guy out there. And like, see, when you go out and you get a bunch of big ticket free agents, it never works. Like, hang on, you're really complete like the early 2000s Washington Redskins team to Bill Belichick and the Patriots. That's the comparison we're going to make. Are we really going to do that?
That's, you got a good nose tackle for 2 years, $16 million, and a lot of that's incentive based and whatnot.
All
you
these
got 2 great tight ends,
super incentive based.
Yeah, all of them are great contracts for the team and can be great for the players. Like, and not only that, it's not just one massive spend. If you just look basic numbers over the years, the teams that spend the most in free agency in the off seasons, they don't do as well that next year. However, no, I don't think anybody's done it the way that
they
New England's
usually
doing
spend
it
it on one huge ticket guy.
Yeah,
that takes up a bulk of their salary cap, and a bulk of their free agency spend is on one big ticket guy. Yeah. And guess what? We didn't do that. So if a couple of these guys end up flaming out or bust or not working out, it doesn't matter. They're one piece to the puzzle, and it's okay. I'm not saying they're going to go win the Super Bowl right now. I still think we're a quarterback away from being good because I don't trust Cam, but I think Cam will be a lot better next year than he was this past year if he's the guy that drives this ship. So they spent all this money and they still have like $28 million left in cap, by the way.
Hey, Casey,
to still go get more guys.
Casey jumped in with a question, and I'm going to answer it for you. He said, Chris, is Stephon Gilmore still on the trade block? Yes. Yes, he's still on the trade block because he's only got a year left on his deal, and if you can get something for him, because if they were going to extend him, I feel like they would have already done that. I think they're going to try and move him and get something back for him. Okay,
so let me tell you what's going to happen.
All right,
they're only going to trade Stephon if he's got to be the piece to get them the big ticket quarterback. Okay, the only way Stephon moves is if it means moving from 15 to like 4th in the draft or 2nd in the draft, or if it's a piece to get Watson or a piece to get Wilson. Okay, that's the only way Stephon's getting moved, and let me tell you why. I think Bill has a relationship with these guys that are better than any owner, coach, GM out there. I really do. Because I think he talks to them like they're adults. All right. I think he tells them exactly what's going on. I think he had the conversation with Stephon Gilmore last year. It says, hey, you're the only good player on this team and we suck. I'm going to shop you. And I think he was honest about it. I don't think he does things behind players' backs at all. He's just not that guy. And I'm going to shop you, okay? And I'm going to see if we can get something for you because you're the only good player on this damn team, okay? I'm just letting you know that. Well, now he's going into this year's thinking, well, this team's got a chance to be pretty good. If we can get all these guys in, everybody stay healthy, and we put this thing together, we can do something special. We can get back to the playoffs, and we can be pretty good. But I think to do that, I need Stephon Gilmore, Okay. I need Stephon Gilmore to be a major part of that. And the only way you move him is if it changes your quarterback position for the future. And it's got to be a big future. It's got to be a guy that's locked up for 3 to 4 years, like a Wilson, like a Watson, or it's got to be to move up to get you a quarterback. That's it. Okay. If that doesn't happen, they're going to keep Gilmore, and I bet they extend Gilmore, because people say, oh, well, he's never paid free agents in the past. Yes, he has. He just doesn't value the people that most other people value. Okay. Remember the year that he brought in, Revis, Darrelle Revis? Yeah. He needed a lockdown cover corner. He signed to a 1 year, like $29 million deal or something. I mean, it was something stupid back in the day where the highest paid cornerback was making like $18 million. And he was like $10 million over that for 1 year, fully guaranteed. And they won a Super Bowl, by the way, with that team. Like, he understands it's okay to pay people. You just don't have to pay everybody. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's my sit on my Patriots. We're gonna move on. The Jets signing Corey Davis. I thought that was a strange signing. I'm very curious to see.
We talked about it on the show on Monday. Like, we talked about that was like the likely landing spot. What's crazy about it is the fact that Adam Gase was so bad with that Jets offense that this is going to be their best wide receiver. Like, that's insane. That's crazy.
There's a world where Mims is a lot better than him.
But he ain't there yet.
Well, Mims was a rookie last year.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's not. I don't think he's better than Corey Davis right now.
Oh, I don't know about that.
All right.
I don't know about that. Corey Davis has had the luxury of playing around some other good receivers, taking a lot of attention away.
Okay.
When Corey Davis has been the best guy on the team, Corey Davis has kind of disappeared a lot.
Oh, yeah. Agree.
So anyway, we're going to move on. There's nobody in Baltimore that's really blown my hair back. I want to address the Bengals for a minute. The Bengals said we're going into this offseason, and our number one priority is to protect Joe. And to do that, they've done not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. And there's been like 4 or 5 really good offensive linemen. And this is a team that's got a little money. And they haven't re-signed. They haven't signed any of them. Not a damn one of them. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but it's typical Bengal bullshit, by the way, just in case you're wondering. My Browns, the only thing they did, John Johnson, safety out of the Rams. One of the reasons Aaron Donald gets a lot of the sacks that he gets, of course, being from a defensive line position. Hey, the biggest reason is because he's a damn monster. Okay. He's just a freak. But one of the big reasons is because their secondary is probably the best in the country. All right. And that means the quarterback has to hold the ball another 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, and it allows guys to get there. And I've said this forever. If Cleveland can just guard another half second, do you know the number of sacks Miles would have had last year that he missed by, I'm talking fractions of a second? I think that was the most important thing, is getting somebody to help that secondary. Just make the quarterback hold the ball just a little bit. I'm talking just a little bit more, and Miles' sack total could double. I mean, double. That's the only reason I think that was a big deal. Going to the South, thought it was interesting that the Texans got Tyrod Taylor.
I thought that was a great signing.
I wonder, did they sign Tyrod telling him, look, man, we got a starting job for you because we've this thing with Watson? Or is this a situation where, hey, he's saying he's going to hold out, we're going to call his bluff, and you're going to be our starter? And
it was 1 year, like $6 million guaranteed.
It's $5.5 million. $2.5 million guaranteed. It's a nothing deal to him. But if he becomes a starter and plays all season, I don't even think it's like playoffs. I don't think it's super incentive based. I just think it's, if he becomes the regular starter and basically plays 16 games,
he can earn up to 12.
It's 12.5. So I mean, I don't really know all the incentives, but I don't think it's like, it's not Cam Newton's incentives to where you have to be a Pro Bowler and you have to make the playoffs and win a Super Bowl to get to $14 million. I think it's just become the everyday starter and you can get there. So I thought them signing Mark Ingram was weird. This team has a weird infatuation with old running backs.
Very much so.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to be very good. Moving on to the Titans. The only thing that I think I've seen them do is lose guys. Now they did sign Bud Dupree.
Yeah.
They got it. They're trying to get that pass rush built up. A pass rush isn't built with one guy. It's just not. Part of the reason the Titans front doesn't get sacks and doesn't get pressures is because their secondary is probably one of the worst in the league.
Yeah, they released Adoree Jackson. I saw that.
Yeah, so. And so this is the exact case I was making for why the John Johnson signing was so big for Cleveland. You want to get sacks, you got to cover somebody, because even the worst NFL quarterback can get the ball out of his hands in 2 to 3 seconds. Okay, if guys are open. And that's those sack numbers aren't on your front seven. They're just not. They're on your damn secondary. So while Bud Dupree is nice, Bud Dupree can't get back there in a second and a half.
Yeah,
that's just not how this game's played.
They also released Malcolm Butler a couple of weeks ago or last week.
Well, yeah, Butler's a free agent. He's a free agent. So I'm curious to see where he lands. But that great, means, but he'll be a good player for somebody in the back secondary.
That means both of their starting cornerbacks are gone, which means they gotta come up with something.
They gotta come up with something. You're right. Here's the thing: they were one of the worst last year. Completely revamping it. I don't know that you go backwards. I don't know you get worse. So whoever they replace some of those guys with got to be better, right?
Man, that's strong language. I don't know.
You got to be better. I'll tell you this: Carson Wentz coming into your conference can't hurt. All right, can't hurt. That's a good thing. I think Trevor is a stud, but
he'll be a rookie.
But he'll be a rookie. Okay, so you get Wentz twice a year. You get a rookie twice a year for basically 1 year. So you better make hay while the sun shines there, because pretty soon he'll be pretty damn good.
And Deshaun Watson may be leaving.
I was about to say, and then you might end up with Tyrod Taylor, who is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. Not known for his gunslinging mentality and putting up huge numbers, just a very professional quarterback. So this secondary could get better by addition by subtraction kind of thing.
Yeah.
The Raiders signed John Brown. That didn't surprise me at all. This is exactly what John Gruden does. Oh, he runs really fast in a straight line. Give him a lot of money. He didn't give him a lot of money. He gave him like $3.5 million, $4 million, something like that. It's none of these guys got paid a ton of money. Dak Prescott, we've talked about Dak's deal, how much money he got, and we see they've made almost no other signings. And I just think this is not a team that is Dak away from being a Super Bowl contender. With Dak putting up ungodly numbers last year, they still had 2 wins, and one of them was against the Falcons that just shit a game away completely.
Yeah, they sucked last year. They were awful last year, even with him. Like the offense was great, but they need to make defensive moves.
Yeah. So the football team got Ryan Fitzpatrick, baby. And this is what I wanted to see. A professional quarterback coming in there. Tyler Henney had a great one game. Hinkie?
Taylor Heineke.
Heineke. I'm never going to say that name right. It's no insult to him. I'm just an idiot. And there's the difference. This gives him a chance to really compete for that job, but he's going to have to compete against a guy who's a grown-ass professional.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this makes the football team the best team in that conference. I know they won the division. I know they won the division last year, and it was just a weird-ass way to win it with 5 or 6 wins, 7 wins, which is terrible. I think they're a lot better than everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Fitzmagic can be half the magic he's been in the past, I think he finally makes the playoffs. First time in his life, by the way. That's insane. Is that
real?
Yep. He's never made the playoffs.
Oh, my God. He's been with 9 different teams.
9 teams, no
9
playoffs.
Different teams.
Do you want to laugh at the Bears and Andy Dalton for a minute?
Yeah, we can certainly do that. I don't think that this is an awful move. They obviously went all in on Russell Wilson, and they have tried for Deshaun Watson, and I get it, right? But if you were going to end up with Andy Dalton anyway, why didn't you sign him for $5 million last year rather than go out and get Nick Foles, who we all know?
You traded a third-round pick and paid $20 million to Foles, and now you're going to give 10 to Watson when you could have just paid Dalton $5 million. or $7 million.
I think Dalton is still like a pro. I still think he's okay.
Still a pro, but the difference between him and Nick Foles is nothing.
I mean, you might be right, but
you got two guys on the team that are the exact same dude.
I don't know. I think he's better than Foles. Like I think Foles deteriorated so much, man. Like
I'll give you that. Is he better than Kirk Cousins?
I think he is on par.
Okay.
With Kirk Cousins. How's that?
I
think those two guys are the same guy.
Is he better than Jared Goff?
I think he's better than Jared Goff.
Okay, and he's not better than Aaron Rodgers, right?
Definitely
so in his conference, he's just a guy, right?
He's tied for second, I guess, right?
Okay, like, he's tied for second in a 4-horse race.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, 80% of people who evaluate football, we can make fun of Kirk Cousins all we want. Kirk Cousins has done a hell of a lot more than Andy's ever done. He hadn't made more playoffs than Andy Dalton. And the other guy that you say he's better than has made it to a Super Bowl. So I'm with you. If we're going results oriented, like if you might have the fourth best quarterback in your conference.
If we're just going based on results, Andy Dalton is actually okay. Like he hasn't won a playoff game, but he's been to the playoffs a lot. But I don't know that that's what we're necessarily talking about with the Bears right now. Like they made it to the playoffs last year. I get that, but my God,
yeah, I think that is what we're talking about. Is you got to be competent. You got to be. I will say this. I do definitively think he's the best quarterback Allen Robinson's had throw to him.
That's yes. 100%.
I do not think that is in question. As much as I love the Mississippi mustache, I think he is better than everybody who's thrown a football to Allen Robinson.
Were you surprised that the Bears are talking about trading Anthony Miller?
No, I'm not surprised by that.
I think they can get something for him, and I think it'd be good for
the
Miller
Patriots
to be
were
somewhere
interested in him.
Yeah, I think
the Patriots have like 4 different teams that want Harry. I think that's weird, but
that's definitely weird. I think that'd be a good swap.
Yeah. Anyway, just swap those guys and just say maybe a change of scenery will help all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. There aren't a whole lot of outside of the fact that the Bucs brought everybody back. I thought the Bucs and the 49ers got the 2 big tickets. Okay. 49ers got Trent Williams, who I think is the best overall player in this free agency. And he got paid like it, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He got paid a shit ton of money, but that's because that guy is a stud. That guy is an absolute beast. He's the best offensive lineman playing football right now. And I don't know that it's close. And he's worth every penny that he just got. And then I did not think Shaq Barrett would re-sign with the Bucs. He signed kind of a team-friendly deal, I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a concept of all these other teams are broke, and so there aren't a lot of big suitors out there willing to throw $20 million at a premier pass rush dude. But because I didn't think he was going to go for less than 20. I think that's huge. I think this is the Tom Brady effect. Everybody sees Tom restructure. Everybody sees Tom take less. So everybody realizes how much fun it is to win Super Bowls. And so everybody says, well, I guess I could take a couple $1 million less. What's the difference of signing 4 years, $20 million or 4 years, $18 million? At the end of the day, I'm giving up basically a year's worth of money. I'm giving up $8 million, but I'm winning Super Bowls, man. Is that worth it? Would I pay $8 million to win another Super Bowl? Sure. Let's try this. This is what Tom does to your team. Okay. This is what bringing him on. He doesn't have the abilities that Patrick Mahomes has. He doesn't have the skill that Aaron Rodgers has today, right now. But this is what makes him more valuable to that franchise and to the team that he's on than those guys. And Patrick's obviously trying to learn from that and doing the exact same thing. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Today, just before we went started, we'll get out of this. We'll go quickly. AJ Green left the Bengals, signed with the Cardinals. I do know that Bill was in conversations with him. Bill wanted AJ pretty bad. He's not half the guy he used to be, but he's still a professional receiver if he can be healthy. That Cardinals offense is going to be pretty damn good next year.
Yeah, no, so him and Larry Fitzgerald together,
couple old guys.
That's some old guys. But that's what you call possession receivers.
Yeah. Like if you need a first down, you got 2 guys on your roster that you trust to come down with the football.
Yes.
You don't need the yaks that they used to get, and you don't need the vertical catches that they used to be able to do. But in their heyday, this might be number 1 and number 2 best catchers of the football in their like draft class era.
Yeah.
I think they were both known for having the best hands out of everybody. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. I'm very curious to see where these big ticket receivers end up. Very curious, just selfishly, where Melvin Ingram ends up. Love that guy. Brown still got some money personally to spend, and the Patriots still got some money. So
the Michael,
the Colts
I'm
still
looking,
have a shit ton of money, by the way. The team we didn't talk about at all. They came into this thing with like $90 million. Now 30 of that or 20, maybe like 24 of that is going to Carson Wentz. So they still have, more money than everybody out there.
Somebody sent me and you a meme of Michael Brockers the other day, and I cannot find it. But I just wanted to bring up the fact that he talked so highly of Matt Stafford and kind of crushed Jared Goff when that trade happened.
Getting traded to
and then
to
he
Detroit.
got traded from the Rams to the Lions.
Yeah, it was just basically saying, we took a big step up getting a quarterback. We now have a professional quarterback and that we can trust. And then he got traded.
And then he got traded to the team where that bad quarterback went. I thought that was great. So yeah, there's still a lot more to go. I mean, this is going to be crazy. The Bears re-signed Jermaine Ifedi, so that's definitely good. I mean, there's a bunch going on. I mean, free agency season is so awesome. Like, even with the NCAA tournament going on, this stuff is still right up there.
Well, this is what the NFL does to you, by the way.
Yeah.
They suck up all the oxygen in the room, and when they want to make a statement, they take over. There's a reason that March Madness happens in March, okay?
Yeah.
It's because the NFL happens in April.
Yes.
Right.
You're 100%
because
right.
If the NFL said we want to move the draft to March, college basketball would move its season back a month. So its tournament would happen in April.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
That would 100% happen. Oh, we're no longer playing in November. We're going to start in December. Why? I don't know. We just like it better. We'll start on Christmas Day. Don't worry about it. Don't ask any questions.
Dolphins picked up running back Malcolm Brown, former Rams guy. He's the guy that took over for Cam Akers last year, and he was fine. Like, he averaged
zero of the running backs that have moved hands made any sense to me, or move the needle at all for me.
Yeah.
But my opinion on running backs. I
find it strange.
Call me when you're special.
Yeah.
And when you're special, I'm going to take notice, and I'm going to watch, and I'm going to be impressed, and then I'm going to hold my breath for you to not be special anymore. And I bet you're not special, shorter than I can hold my breath.
I feel like the Dolphins have brought in, since Flores got there, I feel like they've brought in like 8 running backs. Like, they just swap them in and out.
I don't know what number running back this would be to play it for him if he takes snaps.
It's a bunch. It's a bunch of guys that, like, the name, but they hadn't been that good, and the Dolphins just bring them in and ship somebody else out, and is what it is. Casey said, where will Gardner Minshew play next year? There's stories out right now where there are a lot of teams that are interested in bringing him in, but I don't know if that's going to be as a backup or what. So
I think he'll definitely be a backup. I don't see him. I mean, I look across the landscape, and I don't know many places where he could compete for a starting job. But I will tell you this: he's a guy I want to be my backup because he does what I want a backup to do. Excuse me. I want the backup to be your Ryan Fitzpatrick, your Gardner Minshew type of guy that when they get a chance, they're just going to come in and sling the shit out of it. Yeah. They're going to learn the offense, but they're not worried. I mean, I want my backup to have the no risk it, no biscuit philosophy, because we're already behind the 8 ball for playing without our quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay? We're already behind it. I do not want somebody who's boring to just go back there and hand the ball off 3 times and punt. And then every now and then dump the ball off to a tight end or an underneath receiver or whatever and just throw the ball within a 5-yard window. I don't want that. Okay. We're already behind the 8 ball. Getting conservative when your team just got substantially worse is not the move. You get aggressive. You attack like hell, because if you can hit lightning in a bottle and catch a defense on their heels, bam, you can take advantage quickly. You can flip the script on them, and you just get super aggressive. You're already supposed to lose at that point.
Casey brought up, he said he's going with Minshew being a backup with the Ravens. He said low-key he's probably better than Lamar and then put the laughy face. No, he won't go to the Ravens. Here's the difference. Trace McSorley is the backup for the Ravens, and he does insanely well in that offense. Yeah. I don't think they're moving.
I'm gonna tell you this: if I was him, I know who would piss off, but if I had a free agency move and I could go anywhere I want, and it's not a trade situation, I'd have my agent pick up the phone and go to Chicago.
Maybe so. Maybe so. He brought up Philly.
Yeah.
Like Philly's a good one. I think
Philly's going to draft a quarterback, so you don't want to go play behind a rookie. But if I got to compete with Foles and Andy Dalton, yeah, that's who I want to compete against.
That would make perfect sense.
I'll tell you the other place I'd take him.
Where's that?
I'd take him in Denver because I don't know that he's not better than what they got there.
And Drew Lock, yeah.
You know me. I think Drew Lock is fine, but he's not special. And I don't think Gardner's special, but I think Gardner is it's almost like they're kind of the same guy.
Yeah.
But if I got two guys like that are pushing one another, well, one of them push the other one to a point of greatness.
I could get down with it.
That's all I want as a team. I just want people competing and just fighting like hell to get 1% better. That's it.
I can get down with it. Is there anything else we need to hit on?
No.
Let's go ahead and get out of here.
That went long. So
No, it's good. It's good. It's a fun Wednesday afternoon. Hopefully everybody out there's doing okay with all the storms and whatnot that are blowing through the southeast region. We hadn't had a whole lot yet. We had a bunch of lightning this morning, but
thunderstorms this morning. But it's this afternoon, this evening that it's supposed to hit.
It's supposed to be this evening. But it was supposed to be like early today, and then it's just moved. And it looks like a bunch of the stuff went south of us. It looks like some more of it's going north. I mean, who knows? So we'll see what happens. But hopefully everybody's doing okay. You guys know the deal, winningcureseverything.com. Make sure that you go and enter the bracket challenge. It locks up. It closes Friday morning at 11:15 a.m. Central Time. So make sure you get your picks in before then, all that good stuff. Taylor said we got snow in South Bend this week. Yeah, this has been a weird week. Weird week weather-wise. So all those storms moved through Texas the other day, and then they had a bunch of snowfall after that. Like I'm hoping we ain't got that deal coming, but we shall see. So go to winningcureseverything.com. Make sure you are subscribed everywhere you need to be subscribed. Share the show. Jump into the comments. All that fun stuff. If you have not already, hit the like button for us. We would certainly appreciate that on YouTube for sure. And SBR Picks on YouTube. SBRpicks.com/NCAAF is the website. But our weekly show is up this afternoon. Go ahead and check that thing out. If you are not tired of listening to us, you can go listen for another hour over there. So we'll just talk all college football on that one. So either way, we hope that you all have a good Wednesday. We will be back with you with a show on Friday morning. It'll probably be posted like late tomorrow night on YouTube, but the podcast will be out on Friday morning. So tune in, listen to it before your NCAA basketball stuff. I know ain't none of y'all going to work. So hopefully, everybody does okay. Everybody does, win their bets on their first four tomorrow. And for now, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and we hope that all of your tickets cash. Thanks for checking out Winning Cures Everything. If you want to keep up with us, hit subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Visit the website at winningcureseverything.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us at Winning Cures, at Gary WCE, or at Chris B. Giannini on Twitter. Share out the show, leave a nice review, and make sure to comment